Yo guys, welcome to this video. In this balanced route PvP guide, I'm gonna talk about talents, glyphs, my macros, stat priority, and my opener. I hope this guide will be very useful for you, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's start off with talents. On level 15 tier, I'm using Displace a Beast. It teleports you up to 20 yards forward, and it increases your movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. It has a 30 seconds cooldown, which is the reason I'm using it. It's a short cooldown, it's a pretty big blink. If you're getting nuked by a melee DPS or whatever, you can just easily blink through a pillar and whatever, run around with it, whichever you want to do. You do not want to take Valiant Swiftness or Wild Charge, since Displace Beast range is way longer than Wild Charge. So let's get further to level 30 here. Isiri's Gift is a really good talent. I'm using it because it heals me 4% of my maximum health every 5 seconds, and if I'm full health, my friends or my party members will be healed for the amount. You do not want to use Renewal. It's a pretty good heal, but the cooldown is just way too long to use it, and you might use Snaring Ward in some situations. If you have melee DPS on you, or you know you're getting nuked down, just use Snaring Ward. It's pretty much a burst heal, but in the 30 seconds, Isiri's Gift will actually heal more. Let's get further to level 45 tier. In level 45 tier, you have 3 really good talents. I'm personally using Mass Entanglement the most, because I have it macroed with my Solar Beam to use Mass Entanglement, Mass Root, and Solar Beam as one. You can always use Fairy Swarm or Typhoon, whatever you prefer. But if you do play against Rogue or Stealth comps, you should always play with Fairy Swarm. If not, I personally would love to take Mass Entanglement because of the bind with Solar Beam. On level 60 tier, you have 3 talents. You can either use Incarnation or Force of Nature. I'm personally using Incarnation because it increases your spell damage by 15%. It has a 3-minute cooldown, which is the same as Celestial Alignment, which increases your damage by 20%. So I personally have this macro down for one big burst. You do not want to use Soft Forest, since you will have your 15% damage randomly. It will just pop randomly if your solar or your lunar empowerment pops at 100. You can always use Force of Nature, but the damage is not really big. You just want to use it if you know you're gonna get shit down by a warrior, DK, rogue, whatever, and you need peels from itself. Let's get back to level 75 tier. On level 75 tier, there are 3 pretty good talents. I'm personally using Mighty Bash, which stuns my target for 5 seconds, with a 50 seconds cooldown. I personally use this because you can easily get someone's trinket, or you can just nuke someone down in the 5 seconds you stun them. You can also take Ursal Vortex or Incapacitating Roar if you know you're gonna get nuked down. I personally use Incapacitating Roar if I know I'm having 2 melees on me, which can do really big bursts like Turbo or TSG. Let's get to level 90 tier. Level 90 tier, I always use Nature's Vigil. I never use Dream of Snares, I never use Herd of Twelve. The reason is because Nature's Vigil, for 30 seconds, my damage will actually heal me for 40% of damage I did. So let's say I'm critting 100k, it heals me for 40k, or someone in my party. It's really useful to heal yourself up, or to heal yourself or a teammate. Dream Snares is shit, you really do not want to use it, and Heart of the Wild it can be pretty good, but the cooldown is just too long. As you see, it's a 6 minute cooldown, you just do not want to use it. So that's why I need to Vigil. On level 100 tier, I'm using Euphoria. Euphoria increases your balance energy cycle time by 50%, which is this bar, if you don't know, and increases your cast time of all your spells by 20%. The reason I have this, because Stellar Flare is just shit, and Balance of Power, it can be really good, Balance of Power, but I never played dot cleaves or almost no RPGs, so that's why I have a fear at the moment. In rated battlegrounds, or if you play LSD2 or whatever dot comps, you always want to use Balance of Power, since it increases your dots by a couple seconds, and it increases your Moonfire and Sunfire damage by 10%.
Let's go on
with Glyphs. As first minion glyph, I'm using Glyph of Barkskin. It's a pretty good glyph. If it reduces the chance you'll be critically hit by 25% while Barkskin is active, which means if you check down here, for 12 seconds you will be not only take 20% less damage, but you will also reduce the chance of being critically hit by 25%. As the second minion glyph, I'm using Glyph of the Shape Member. Each time you activate a Shapeshift form, you're healed for 5% of your maximum health. So this glyph, some people could say it's not good, but I personally use this because as a balanced druid you'll be healed for so much. If I go to bear form, the glyph will heal me for almost 21k, and if I enter bear form, you see in the left top corner I have 10 rage, and if you use frenzied regeneration with it, you actually be healed pretty, yeah, it's just a simple heal, but if you do them both together, it's a pretty big heal. It's almost 30k. So you can basically do it every 30 seconds. You obviously don't want to waste your you obviously don't want to waste your globals to it, but it's really useful if you can't cast or heal or whatever, if you don't have CC, to get rid of that DK warrior rogue on top of you. So this can heal you pretty good. As third minion glyph, I'm using Glyph of Cyclone, which increases the range of your Cyclone spell by 5 yards. Originally, the Cyclone spell has 20 yards range, which is, in my opinion, shit. People can easily walk out the range and just do anything to not get Cyclone, so that's why I take this glyph. 5 yards, it's not really much. It's not like a lot of or something, but I personally like to use it because you actually feel the slightly more range. As important small glyph is Glyph of Untamed Stars, which will be your Starfall, and Sunfall will hit all enemies within 40 yards. So originally this spell only hits the people you have Moonfire or Sunfire on. So, but with this glyph you don't have to have Moonfire or Sunfire on your target. It will hit everyone near you for 40 yards. As second minion glyph, it's Glyph of the Stack. It's not important, it is just awesome. It's just an awesome thing. And as third small glyph, I'm using Glyph of the Flapping Owl, because it's fucking amazing. Next up will be stat priority. I personally would go for Mastery, Haste, Versatility, Multi-Strike, Crit. So the reason I go for Mastery is because it increased the maximum bonus damage from Eclipse. Eclipse is the part where your spells will actually shine up. So if they shine up, you'll do more damage if you stack Mastery. But make sure, if you stack Mastery, you don't just burst down as you come out of stealth. You just want to hit someone first, so your spells will shine up. So you do 53% more damage for me in my case. Not a lot of people know this. They just get out of stealth, just randomly pop burst and hope they'll kill everyone. But just make sure you'll be in the Eclipse, because you'll do so much more damage with Mastery. Next up, we're gonna talk about macros. Personally, I only use 2 macros, one burst macro and one beam macro. They will be both down in the description. You could just copy paste it, whatever you want to do with it. In the first burst macro, we're using Incarnation, Celestial Alignment, which are the damage cooldowns, popping the Trinket with it, Nature's Vigil, and Draenic Intellect Potion. But you do not always want Nature's Vigil to be in this macro, so you can either make 2 macros or have it as this with it, or you can just have one without Nature's Vigil and pop it just without macro. And the second macro is in simple small beam macro. It will cost Solar Beam and Mass Root. You can also use this one with Treants for a root and beam. And that was it. That's just my macros. I only have 2 macros, the most important ones. Okay, so next up will be my opener. Usually if my target is not in stealth, I open from stealth myself. I cast a root, followed by 2 Star Surges. And because of my set bonus, 2 set bonus I guess, when Entanglement Root is dispelled or broken by damage, you gain 1 charge Star Surge. So that means I will have 1 extra Star Surge or more damage in my opener. You might think like, oh, 1 Star Surge is not much, but actually it always helps you. Look. 2-star search. There you can cast, go further with this or whatever, go cast. You might even burst him down, whatever you want to do. So that was the opener from for a target, which is not installed. So that was the guide, guys. I hope it helped you out. If it did, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it to your friends. If you still don't know something, make sure to just leave a comment down below, question me. I'll just answer your question if it's about Balance Druid. And next video, I'll release a tutorial on how you can see when Empowered Moonkin is procced. If you have seen my videos, you'll see Empowered Moonkin icon blinging somewhere on my screen. That's what I'm gonna make a tutorial about. Yeah, and I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time.